Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Credit Repair Kit for Dummies, 5th edition, by Melyssa Barrett, Steve Bucci, and Rod Griffin. Forward by John Hope Bryant, narrated by Tom Parks. Publisher's note: in this audio edition, you will hear references to figures and tables present in the print and ebook formats of the book. Forward. Chances are, at this very moment, you're within arm's reach of a small yet powerful device, your smartphone. This relatively tiny yet complex machine was once considered an optional luxury. Now in 21st century America, it's a necessary utility for everyday life. Our cell phones give us access to nearly everything imaginable: food, information, transportation, vacation options, you name it, and it's available at your fingertips. Though it has profound potential to make our lives easier, we leave so much of its capability on the table without ever fully realizing its benefits. Worse, we have a tendency to abuse it, all because we didn't approach it with respect and understanding. Credit is the same way. Credit is the fuel that helps drive most of the major milestones in life. Purchasing your first home, leasing a new car, launching your own business, even getting a job offer. Credit impacts so much of our lives, yet many of us are unaware of its potential and the vast possibilities it offers if we learn to leverage it properly and use it for our betterment. Today, more than 191 million Americans have access to credit through a credit card or have unknowingly begun building their credit profile through other means. Yet most people are unaware of what this means for their lives today and, more important, their futures. They understand its basic functions, but they don't access its best features simply because they don't know how. As an entrepreneur, philanthropist, and nonprofit leader, I understand just how important this subject is to so many Americans and the future of the American dream, especially the underbanked and underserved. For far too long, many people on the margins never received the memo on financial literacy and credit management. Unknowingly, they began to borrow against their future and lock themselves out of much-needed opportunities. But the beauty of our country is that we all have a chance to make our hopes and aspirations become a reality, even after we've messed up, if given the right tools and opportunity. Melyssa Barrett, Steve Bucci, and Rod Griffin offer both of those through Credit Repair Kit for Dummies. This book empowers you with the knowledge and mindset needed to make the most of your credit and live your best life. But you must apply the lessons learned and dedicate yourself to living them out daily. This edition of this book is special because it takes into account the ongoing challenges that our nation continues to face regarding financial equity, diversity, and inclusion. With an exciting new chapter, 3 experts address these issues head-on and invite every reader from every background to learn the rules of the credit game, participate, and win. Regardless of race, creed, culture, or class, you have the power to make your dreams come true. We're all rooting for you. John Hope Bryant, Founder, Chairman, and CEO, Operation Hope. Introduction. The credit crisis has been replaced by the credit chronic. Now more than ever, your ability to weather and recover from the next crisis depends on your credit. You've already lived through a series of financial explosions that caused a credit winter, and that gave way to a fragile and uneven credit spring thaw. You've heard of the meteor that killed off the dinosaurs by causing a prolonged winter environment around the globe, and of the consequences of an atomic war called a nuclear winter? Well, the same thing can happen to your credit, regardless of what causes it. For many people, credit loosens and tightens cyclically. For others, it has been a challenge through good times and bad. equal access to credit and the benefits it brings have never been fully assured for those new to credit, including immigrants, minorities, and the working poor. Credit access may have thawed over the last few years, but only for those people who have a solid credit report and credit score. Loan interest rates may be low, but criteria for obtaining the best credit terms are not. Jobs may be readily available or scarce depending on the economy, but regardless, failing a credit review can keep you unemployed in the best of times. Your need for great credit never ends. This book is meant to help you successfully rebuild and manage your credit. Rather than taking an academic approach to the subject of credit, it helps you succeed at integrating credit into your real life. It enables you to make great credit an outcome of the decisions you make every day as you pursue life and happiness. I call it your credit life connection. Given today's increasing reliance on credit reporting and credit scores for lending and non-lending decisions making, you need better credit and a higher credit score to access today's credit products, which are an essential part of leading a rewarding life in today's society. Not only are the criteria for the best access to credit very selective, but the penalties for ignorance and failure have multiplied. And if all this isn't enough, the non-lending use of credit reports is growing seemingly by the day. Updates to this book tell you about new consumer databases that collect information about your medical history, prescription drug use, rental history, banking data, and more. Employers, insurance companies, landlords, and lenders use this information to decide whether to hire or promote you, what insurance rates to give you, whether to rent you an apartment, and whether to offer you new banking products. You need to know what's in these files, and that's one of the many things we tell you how to do in this book. Credit Repair Kit for Dummies comes at a critical time. Credit plays an ever-changing and increasingly important role in your life, regardless of whether you use a credit card. Insurance, employment, home buying or renting, and getting an education with student loans are more dependent than ever on you having good credit. Plus, although the rewards for good credit have never been higher, the penalties for failure, foreclosure, eviction, job problems, mounting debts, collections have never been greater. For these reasons and more, millions of people are looking for up-to-date, useful, and proven answers from a trusted and knowledgeable resource. If you know the rules of the credit game, you'll get a winning score. That's why we wanted to bring you the best, non-biased information in the industry based on our decades of experience and research. About this book. The approach we outline in this book is different because it's low-cost and simple and drives right to the heart of the matter. With this book, you can manage your credit by applying just a few key concepts. Unlike the talk show approach of making one philosophy fit all after a 15-second question and answer period, this book takes the time to give you the concepts and tools you need so that you can apply them to your specific situation and come up with an answer that's custom-tailored to you. So, why this book? Because although credit problems can seem incredibly complex and unfair, you can have good credit with a few simple actions that anyone can master. We give you all the tools and insight you need to rebuild your credit or build it up for the first time. Because you may need the advice of an experienced advisor to guide you through a mortgage problem. This book tells you how to find a good resource for credit or bankruptcy counseling. Because your credit may be in detention due to crushing student loans. This book can help you find the right solution and then rebuild your credit score as quickly as possible. Because you want to get a job or promotion, buy a reliable car to get to your job, start a business, insure your home, apartment, or car, or further your education. If any of these situations applies, you need a good credit record. because you may be one of the millions of people who become victims of personal data theft each year. This book provides valuable information to salvage and protect your identity, because you may be on the brink or even over the cliff of credit trouble. This book gives you budgeting and spending advice that can pull you back from the edge. Because the time is right for you to regain control of your credit and your financial peace of mind. This book helps you do just that. Foolish Assumptions. We assume that you're reading this book because you know that repairing your credit is important, but you may not know all the ins and outs of making credit work for you. Whether your credit is not so great and you want to know how to improve it, or your credit is just plain non-existent and you want to establish it on your own terms, you'll benefit from this book. An understanding of your credit and how the credit system works may be especially important during life's transitions. We assume that this book can be of value to you if you're concerned about your credit report and who may be looking at it, concerned about the credit status of a loved one, considering what to do about overwhelming debt, wondering how to deal with medical bills, unsure about the credit impact of remaining in your home or walking away, starting over again after filing for bankruptcy, taking on or paying back a student loan, concerned that your personal information may have been compromised or stolen, already in or soon to be in a marriage or partnership, recently divorced or in the process of divorcing, reestablishing credit after the loss of a spouse or partner, hunting for a job or hoping for a promotion, establishing credit for the first time, wanting to know how to maintain good credit after you get back on track. We assume that you don't have a formal education in credit or personal finance. Even if you do, however, we believe that you can still find practical insights in this book based on our experience and that of others we've helped. Icons used in this book. Icons are those little pictures you see sprinkled throughout this book. Here's what they mean. Remember. This icon denotes critical information. Considering the state of our own overcrowded memories, we wouldn't ask you to remember anything unless it was really important. Technical stuff. This image of a credit professional, of the Dummies man, shows up whenever we go into more detail on a concept or rule. If you don't care about the details of how something works or where it came from, feel free to skip these gems. Tip. This light bulb lets you know that you're reading on-target advice, often little-known insights or recommendations that we've picked up over the years. Warning. This icon serves as a warning, telling you to avoid something that's potentially harmful. Take heed. Beyond the book. In addition to the material in the print or ebook that you're reading right now, this product also comes with some Access Anywhere goodies on the web. Even though this book is packed with helpful tips and advice for repairing your credit, we've provided even more tools and resources beyond what's in the book. Go to dummies.com/go/credit repair kit FD5E to find useful forms, worksheets, sample letters, and credit-related legislation and laws. The online material also includes a glossary of commonly used credit industry terms. Also be sure to check out the cheat sheet for this book. There you can find contact information for the 3 major credit bureaus, credit score breakdowns, tips for improving your credit score, and advice on handling an overdue mortgage. Just go to dummies.com and type Credit Repair Kit for Dummies cheat sheet in the search box. Where to go from here? You get to choose what happens next. This book is packed with information to help you repair your credit. You can use the table of contents and index to jump directly to the topics of most interest to you, or you can start at the beginning of the book and take it from there. With the information in Credit Repair Kit for Dummies, you can get great credit and keep it great for the long haul. We wish you all the best in achieving your dreams, which increasingly require good credit to realize. You and your family deserve it. Part 1. Getting Started with Credit Repair. In this part, understand the basic workings of credit, credit repair, and credit scores. Find out how to rebuild your credit after a crisis. Fix inaccuracies and add positive data in your credit reports and boost your credit score. Solve your credit problems on your own or get expert help that really works for free. Field calls from debt collectors with confidence. Deal successfully with debt collectors, lawyers, and court actions. Chapter 1. Introducing Credit Repair, Credit Scores, and Your Life on Credit. In this chapter, handling credit problems, dealing with the issues surrounding equity and diversity in credit, rebuilding your credit after a crisis such as a foreclosure or bankruptcy, safeguarding your credit and your identity, discovering how to manage your credit, keeping your credit solid in every stage of life. Credit plays a larger role in life than ever, and it looks like its influence will only expand in the years to come. The good life, happiness, and credit are inextricably linked. It's not that more material things make you happier, but bad credit exacts a price from your life, your hopes, and your dreams, as well as your relationships with others. Think of it as your credit/life connection. Whether it is hard or easy, fair or not, you must learn to successfully manage your credit, and by extension your personal finances, if you are to lead a successful and satisfying life in these United States. Financial products, credit foremost among them, have become much more complex and powerful, while the price for having a bad credit report or no credit at all has never been steeper. Your credit report is a financial snapshot of your life in financial terms. For example, a divorce can wreak havoc in your life, and that instability can show up as missed payments or even a bankruptcy on your credit report as well. When you use credit, the information usually gets reported to a data storehouse known as a credit bureau. This information ends up on your credit report for at least the next 7 years. The good, the bad, and the ugly are all there for anyone you do business with to see, and for FICO and Vantage Score to summarize in a 3-digit number known as your credit score. Bad credit can keep you from finding a job, getting the promotions you deserve at work, being approved for an affordable loan, getting insurance or paying the lowest price for it, securing an apartment or house, and more. This chapter is all about getting you started in repairing, rebuilding, or even just starting your credit so you can get that job, promotion, loan, home, and insurance to protect it. We cover the basics and the fine points. If you don't understand credit, you can't fix it. So we discuss how credit works, how to apply that knowledge to get what you want, how to deal with the effects of life's inevitable setbacks on your credit, and how to recover from those setbacks as quickly as possible. Other chapters build on this information, helping to make your credit the best it can be and keep it that way. Why? Because life isn't always fair, but you still need to repair the damage and carry on without being taken advantage of by unscrupulous financial companies or wasting precious years recovering from credit problems that you can avoid or minimize by using the advice in this book. Repairing bad credit. After you've had a rough patch and fallen behind on your payments, You may think that you can never recover. Between the cost of interest and maybe even collection actions, the situation can be overwhelming. But we assure you that you can reverse the cycle. You can not only reestablish good credit, but also keep good credit for the rest of your life. Forever is a long time, but if you follow our advice, you can banish the credit blues permanently. It's not magic, and it won't cost you another dime. By realistically assessing your situation, seeing yourself as others see you, knowing where you stand, using free help if you need it, setting goals, planning your spending and savings, and using credit as part of your overall plan, you can quickly rebuild your credit. Settling debts. You hear the ads all the time. Settle your debt for pennies on the dollar. You have a right to pay less than you owe. Debt settlement is an often misunderstood option that may work for you, but only if you handle it properly. Many companies that offer debt settlement services help themselves a lot more than they help you. You can avoid huge fees and potential credit damage if you reach a settlement agreement with your lender on your own or if you use your own attorney. Remember, you are personally responsible for the actions of the debt settlement company you hire, and your credit will be ruined in a protracted and adversarial settlement process. Chapter 6 gives you the information you need to decide whether debt settlement is for you and outlines your best options. Resetting your goals. Just as you did when you first started establishing credit, we want you to revisit your goals from time to time. When your life changes, your goals should reflect that new reality. Goals that once seemed within easy reach may move from short-term to long-term. Others may change as you mature. Buying that red sports car may not be as important to you now as it was in your 20s. Take the time to reset your sights, as we explain in Chapter 2. Begin by envisioning your life as you'd like it to be over the short, medium, and long term. Next, create a spending plan, or update your plan if you already have one, so that you know your current financial resources. Then, begin to see how long it will take to fund your goals and determine when using credit may be appropriate. Chapter 18 goes into detail about how to create and maintain a spending plan and how to use credit wisely as a part of that plan. To ensure that your credit is up to the task of supporting your goals for the future, check your credit reports and dispute any inaccuracies or out-of-date information. To rebuild your credit reports, you need to start with an accurate credit history, not one riddled with errors that may hold you back. After you check your reports, look for opportunities to review them for free as often as you can. Part 4 tells you everything you need to know about credit reporting. Rebuilding your credit by using it. The best way to rebuild your credit is to exercise it. Using your goals and spending plan as a guide, start making those payments as agreed, on time, and for the correct amounts. Every month you do so, you build better credit, while your older, bad credit either counts for less or drops off your credit reports altogether. Tip: consider opening a secured credit card, backed by a bank account deposit or a passbook loan, to add a revolving and installment account to fatten your credit history and boost your score. You can find the details in Chapter 10. Using a cosigner or becoming an authorized user. We normally don't recommend that you cosign for a loan, but in this case, someone else is doing the cosigning. Enlisting a cosigner is a way to get access to credit so that you can begin to rebuild your credit history with the credit bureaus. But you need to keep in mind a few important rules. You have to make all the payments on time. If you can't make a payment when it's due, you have to tell the cosigner in advance so that the cosigner can make the payment and protect his or her credit. You can pay your pal back later. You can't get mad at the cosigner for not being understanding or more helpful while you owe him or her money. Your cosigner is doing you a huge favor at great personal credit risk. Another way to rebuild your credit is to become an authorized user on someone else's credit card. After you've added to the other person's account, his or her good credit history flows onto your credit record as a positive account and payment stream, beefing up your record and credit score. The person needs to have good credit, though, or his or her bad credit will negatively affect yours. We suggest that you decline getting your own card for the account so that only the other person's charges appear on the account. That way, if he or she has a bad memory, as we do, you're spared monthly calls asking whether this or that charge is yours. Although you won't have access to new credit, your credit score gets a boost. Finding sources of free help. You can do a lot of things on your own, but sometimes having a pro on your side to give you tips helps. You can find that help in 3 main places, and it ranges from inexpensive to free. Nonprofit credit counselors, pro bono lawyers, and HUD-approved counseling agencies offer priceless insight, assistance, and advice. The trick is to know to ask for it. Nonprofit credit counselors work with you to set goals, develop a spending plan, and assess your ability to repay your debts. They can set up a repayment plan in concert with your lenders to lower your payments and interest rates and get positive information back on your credit reports faster than you could on your own. They're funded by creditors, but work for you, and we recommend the good ones highly. Discover where to find the good ones in Chapter 4. Lawyers sometimes offer free or pro bono help if you can't afford to pay. Chapter 4 includes a list of resources to help you find one in your area. A mortgage is a different and sometimes dangerous type of loan. The rules for handling a delinquent mortgage are different from those for regular consumer debts, and the penalty for a mistake can be the loss of your home. So we strongly recommend that if you have a mortgage problem, you get professional HUD-certified help. You can find an agency at the HUD website, hud.gov. Warning: watch out for bad help. In a nutshell, if someone approaches you and offers to help for a fee, don't do it. The free resources work well. The costly ones too often are just ways to separate you from your money while you're under stress. Dealing with collectors. Sometimes you have to take the call. You know it's a debt collector, but you don't know what to say, do, or offer. Chapter 5 spells out how to take control of the collection process. Collectors must follow certain rules, and if you know the rules, you'll feel more confident in dealing with a stressful situation. The Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, FDCPA, regulates what collectors can and can't do. In general, this law protects you from abuse and threats. For example, a collector can't threaten an action that it can't or doesn't intend to take, can't make harassing calls, and can't use abusive language. When you know your rights and insist on being treated fairly, you can negotiate a payment schedule that fits your budget. If you need help coming up with a workable plan, you can always ask a credit counselor for assistance. Chapter 5 offers solutions that work, from how to handle calls and threatening letters to how to craft a repayment proposal. We walk you through how to keep a small collection annoyance from becoming a major and upsetting life event. Weathering a major crisis. Some credit problems are worse than others. In Chapter 7, we cover 4 of the big ones: mortgages, medical debt, student loans, and auto repossessions. Mortgage meltdowns. In our experience, a mortgage crisis is among the most upsetting, expensive, and damaging to your credit and relationships. Your home.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?